Hello, my name is Derek Jones and today I'm going to show you how to migrate your files from one SharePoint environment to another SharePoint environment using Ontolica Fusion. Now in this instance we will be migrating our documents from a SharePoint 2010 environment to an Office 365 environment. Okay, let's get started. Now before we get started, I'd like to briefly show you my SharePoint 2010 environment so you can see my folder structure and the documents we're going to be migrating. Today I'm going to be migrating the Marketing and Sales folder. Okay, let's move forward. Step number 1, we're going to create our SharePoint 2010 connection, so click SharePoint Connections and then click New. Now select the SharePoint environment where you're going to be migrating your documents from and name the connection. I'm going to name mine my 2010 connection. Next, insert the URL that points to your SharePoint location. Followed by your username and password. Once you have done so, click OK. Fusion is now creating our SharePoint 2010 connection and should be done in just a moment. Once it is finished, we will move on to step number 2. Now before we move on to step number 2, I would like to briefly show you my Office 365 environment so you can see where I'm going to be migrating my documents. As you can see, there is currently nothing there. Okay, let's move forward. Step number 2, create our Office 365 connection. Select New. SharePoint Office 365 is selected, so we're going to keep that the same. And I'm going to name my connection my Office 365. Then insert the URL that points to your Office 365 environment, followed by your username and password. And once you are finished, go ahead and click OK. Fusion is now creating our Office 365 connection, and once it is finished, we will move on to step number 3. Step number 3, we're going to create a new component, so select Components, then click New Component, and choose File Transport. Click Next. For file system, we're going to select SharePoint. We're going to select our SharePoint 2010 connection and then select the library that you would like to migrate. I'm going to migrate Derek's 2010 docs. Click Next. Step number 5, specify your SharePoint document library. For connection, select My Office 365 and click Create All Folders one for one. Next, select the SharePoint library where you would like your documents migrated. Once you have done so, click Next. Step number 6, map your metadata. Now as you can see, Ontolica Fusion automatically maps your metadata for you, so there is nothing left for you to do, unless you would like to change around any of the metadata. However, in this instance, we're going to leave everything the same and click Next. And then click Run with Preview. Fusion has now prompted us to save our newly created component. I'm going to name mine SP2010 to Office 365. Once you are done, go ahead and click Save. Fusion is now asking if these are the documents we would like to migrate. They are, so go ahead and click Next. Fusion is now preparing our documents for transfer, and once it is finished, go ahead and click Run. Fusion is now migrating our documents and should be done momentarily. Our migration is finished, so let's take a look at our SharePoint environment. Refresh your browser. And as you can see, your documents have successfully been migrated to your SharePoint environment. Also, as you can see, the component has been saved for future use. Well, that does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day.